Hey guys, it's your girl Simply Lebz and I'm back with another video. So if you're an oldie but a goodie, hey girl, hey, thank you so much for coming back. If you're a new subscriber and new viewer, thank you so much for giving my channel a chance. I hope you enjoy the content that I put out. Hit that subscribe button, like, comments. I'm always up for comments. I will always respond to everyone and just keep the engagement growing. So today's video, I'm actually gonna do a short story time of something that happened a few weeks ago. I can tell the story because I'm home now. I made it home safely. So yeah, so before I went to Joburg for work, so okay, let me first start by saying I work from home, well, since 2020, since the very first hard lockdown. I've been home. So the arrangement is I'll go to Johannesburg work maybe once a month, or whenever I get called out to go to the office. So I usually go there when there are clients facing meetings or projects that I need to see and play out, right? Or have site visits and whatnot. So majority of the time, the reason why I'm always wearing lingerie and PJs is because I work from home, right? So this time around, I had to go to Joburg for work. And this is the first time that I had to go this entire year. So in May, I had to go for the very first time in 2024. So cool. And the reason why I had to go is because I had a training that I had to go to for the entire week, and in the next 3 weeks following that, I had clients facing meetings, I had projects to attend to. So I was going to be in Joburg for a good month, exactly a month, because I ended up leaving on the 10th of May and came back on the 10th of June, right? So my plan was, because the training started on the Monday, I was going to travel on the Friday, so that I travel Saturday, I rest, and by Monday I'm already refreshed. I'm not fatigued because of the traveling, because anyone knows that if you travel by bus, especially from KZN to Gauteng, you spend the whole day, or majority of the day, on the bus, right? So Friday comes along. Oh, by the way, I bought my tickets via my F&B app, and you get a discount, like 5% discount. And once you get those discounts, those accumulate and you end up getting like a whole bunch of e-bucks, right? So yeah, that's just out there. Obviously, this isn't sponsored. That's just the plug. Buy your tickets, either bus, plane, whatever, via the F&B app, and you get your discounts. Okay, cool. So I booked my ticket and I'm set to leave on the Friday. When we go, anyone who knows me knows that I pack last minute because I absolutely loathe packing, number one. Secondly, I cannot pack to save my life. I'm an overpacker. I will pack for every single possible outcome or event, knowing very well that I'm a homebody. I'm not out like that. I don't go out like that. The only reason that I go out is to meet up with my friends for like lunch or dinner, and because I haven't seen them so long, right? Or my cousins. That's it. I'm not a person who leaves the house and goes out. Like, I'm a homebody through and through. So I don't even know why I overpack. But yeah, I'll always pack for a situation, perhaps, what if, just to ease my mind. So obviously I overpacked in this humongous red bag, and I'll show you guys, or you'll see it in the next video where I unpack my clothes that I haven't worn on my trip. So I pack, and then firstly, this bag is heavier than me. I had to sit on it to just close it up, right? On the other hand, I had things that I had to bring for my cousins, right? So it was extremely heavy. I go there, my mom drops me off while we wait for the bus, and then it comes, right? Comes, I think, like 30 minutes late, which isn't bad. It's still gonna be fine. I'm still gonna arrive in Johannesburg on time, and I'll be able to get the Gau train to Sandton, and then I'll be able to get an Uber from there to my cousin's place in good time. Well, I would arrive there maybe I'd get to my cousin's at like 6, right? Or 6:30 at the very latest. Cool. Get on the bus. As I get on the bus, I'm like, oh, finally. Because I think my biggest stress is that I have so many things. The moment I'm in the bus, I can forget about my luggage. I can forget about all these things because I'm thinking the next step is that when I get to Johannesburg, I'll either have to get on the Howard train, but this time around, because I had a lot of things, I'd asked my best friend to actually meet me in Park Station to help me with my bags and then drop me off at my cousin's. So I get on the bus, sitting there, I'm fine, and I have this nice lady sitting next to me, and we're hitting it up and we're chatting. She tells me she was from from Durban, blah blah blah. The moment, okay, so now we've passed the town in Ladysmith, my eyes are closed, I'm just about to fall into like a deep sleep because I know that the next stop for us is Harrismith, where we get a break and all of that. I kid you not, we had been driving for 30 minutes max. I hear a bump, right? Because I was in the sleep, right? And in my head, I'm like, nah, it was probably like a pothole, but it's nothing bad. Because I hadn't seen where we were, and it turns out that we had just exited the toll gate from the town that I live in. So literally, if I could look back, I could see the toll gates because it was even like 5 steps behind us. And the bus is moving slowly. And I can hear this commotion in the bus, and I open my eyes. I'm like, no, please, like, nothing could go wrong now. As I'm thinking that, I could feel the bus tilt to the left because I was sitting on the left side, right? It's not on the right. I was sitting on the left. And it was like this noise, like, psh, like it felt like pressure was being released. And I think everyone thought, oh no, it's just a tire puncture. We'll just get off the bus, they'll change the tire, and we will be on our way, right? But the way the bus just guys, the bus moved to the left, so it was like skew like this, right? And we were like sitting like this. And then we can see the bus driver and the assistant driver just going out to assess. And they look, and because I was sitting by the window, I can see them and the looks in their eyes and their faces, so it didn't seem promising. So in my head, I'm like, oh my gosh. So they talk and everyone is like looking outside, saying what's going on. The bus driver comes in. He says to us, oh no, we had to stop because the bus, what did he say? Something about the bus regulating itself. I promise you, it didn't make sense. Like, guys, I'm not a car person. I do not know the ins and outs of a car, but common sense told me the math is not mathing. I don't understand this man's story, right? He said, oh my gosh, he said something, it's just I forgot the word, but it was along the lines of the bus is self-regulating, it will be fine. And I remember I asked this lady sitting next to me, like, what does it mean the bus is self-regulating? What does that even mean, guys? So good. We sit for like a good 5 minutes. And we're waiting for this bus to self-regulate or something. And I remember I called my mom and I was like, Mama, apparently the bus is self-regulating. Because luckily I had seen that the toll gate is behind this, right? So if push comes to shove, worst case scenario, I'd be like, I'm going to call my mom, my brother, they're going to come and fetch me here. I'm going to go back home. I'm not going to sit in a bus and not know what's going to happen to us, right? So now we sit 10 minutes and everyone now is leaving the bus, right? It's like just standing outside, they want some fresh air. And the girl sitting next to me, like opposite me, she's stressed, right? And I'm like, what's wrong, girl? And she's like, no, I have a girls trip. And they had a girls trip in Hartis, right? They were supposed to arrive that day. And she actually left her car because she was like, no, she doesn't want to drive. She wants to leave her car. And her cousins were coming from Nelspruit, just like my cousins from Nelspruit. So now she was like, no, her cousins are coming from Nelspruit. So as she's calling her cousins are having a blast. Like, yeah, we can't wait to see. And she's like, guys, the bus is it's not working, right? And her cousins are like, no, it'll be fine. We'll see you tonight and whatnot. So now I think the driver saw that nobody is buying the story of the bus self-regulating or something, because we were all like, please just tell us what's happening, right? So now he says, oh, they have some protocols that they need to follow. So before, because everyone was like, if there's something wrong with the bus, then can't you guys call like for another bus to come? And the driver explained, firstly, it was not a puncture. So there was like a metal thing by the wheel that snapped. So it's not a puncture, but it's a metal rod that snapped. And in my head, I'm like, there's no way this thing is going to get fixed today. There's no way. Like, if it was a puncture, I think I would be like, oh, okay, no. But my whole thing was, if the driver isn't doing anything, if the assistant driver isn't doing anything with this thing that snapped, that means the issue is bigger than them. This needs a mechanic, someone who specializes with fixing cars, like motors and all of that. So the driver says, oh no, so we have a protocol book and we need to call head office. Head office will call a mechanic to where we are, just outside my town, from Harry Smith, right? Have to wait for a mechanic. And if the mechanic cannot fix the issue that we were facing or fix the problem with the bus, then he will let them know, and then they have to call head office again, and then head office will either send out a bus from Durban or Pretoria, because those are the two major stops where the buses are, right? I was like, oh no, I'm not waiting for a bus. And this is after, I think last year I'd read an article that just out Pietermaritzburg, an Intercape bus broke down and people actually got robbed. The people in the bus, the drivers, even got robbed from the people in the neighboring township. I was like, I'm not going to wait for that to happen. I'm going to leave, right? And people are like, are you actually going to leave? I'm like, I'm not going to sit and wait for something that I don't know, because it was already like 1 p.m. We're not going to get to Joburg by 4:30 I already knew that. And then when people are like asking the drivers, so what's going to happen when we arrive in Park Station or Pretoria Bosman late, the drivers were like, you're going to get off the bus and you're going to see what you need to do. So there's also that safety element that we're going to arrive early in the morning, like 1 a.m, 2 a.m, and then we're going to be stranded, right? So I was like, I'm not going to put myself in that situation. So I call my mom and I'm like, yeah, the bus thing is not going to work. Please come fetch me. Because I think we'd waited already 30 minutes. The mechanic was on his way, but he hadn't arrived yet. So bear in mind, it's like 1:30 now. The mechanic still needs to check the problem. And I promise you, that mechanic was not going to be able to do anything with that bus. So that means they were going to have to wait for a bus from Durban or Pretoria to come where we were and then go. So I was like, nah, cut that. Get off the bus. I talked to the assistant bus driver, who was very rude, by the way, because I was like, how are you, blah blah blah. I don't know, maybe, tensions are high because the bus and nothing is going well. So now I asked him, so if someone comes and fetches me, what's gonna happen with my ticket? Am I gonna get reimbursed or something? Because it's not my fault that the bus broke down. I paid money for this ticket. And then he was like, oh, Sissy, things like he doesn't know, he's never heard of us getting refunds. And I was like, no. If you don't know, then it's fine. I will call and ask what happens, because what I don't want is someone to give me an answer and be like, he's never heard of refunds being given. Whose fault is it that the bus broke down? It's not my fault as the passenger. We were like 30 minutes away from home. So now I call my mom. I was like, no, my brother's on the way, he's coming. So I tell the driver, no, can you please get my bag, my huge bag? I'm going home. He's like, what's gonna happen? I was like, I'm gonna buy a ticket. I had to literally buy a ticket for the next day, because in my head I was like, I'm gonna call the head office, tell them to reimburse me for my ticket for when I come back, because I hadn't bought a return ticket because I didn't know my work schedule like to the T for the next coming month, right? So I was like, no, I literally had to buy a bus ticket that moment for the next day, meaning on the Saturday. Then my brother came, he took my bag, and then we drove home. And then when I got home, I tried to call them, they weren't picking up. I mean, so there was like a chat number, so I spoke to the consultant on WhatsApp, and they were like, no, they can't reimburse me because I'd already gotten on the bus. And I was like, no, but the bus broke down. Were you expecting me to wait for something to happen, something bad to happen? Because you were never going to reimburse the things in my bags and my phone and whatnot if, let's say, people came and robbed the bus. You were not going to do that, right? So it's not my fault that the bus broke down. I'm gonna need you to run me up my money. Consultant was like, no, I'm gonna have to escalate. I was like, escalate it. And once you've escalated it, your manager will call me and we'll sort this out. One thing about me, guys, I may laugh, I may smile, I'm actually, yes, I am a nice person. Don't play about my money. Run me my money. When it comes to, no, I'm gonna want every single cent. And the good thing is I know my rights. So I was like, no, escalate it. Let your manager call me. And the manager called and she was like, no, but you got on the bus. I was like, I had to get on the bus. It was my trip to Johannesburg. What I did not expect, anticipate, was the bus breaking down. Mind you, I came out of pocket because we had to use petrol for a 30-minute drive so that I could be fetched, so that I could be safe, right? I wasn't going to sit on a bus like a sitting duck and wait for the unknown when people were saying the bus is going to leave Durban or Pretoria at 5 p.m. We were literally in the middle of nowhere, guys. There were like a few houses here and there. And I was like, did you expect people to sit like in the middle of nowhere at night? What about our safety? So I had to take those measurements because you guys were not going to do anything. You guys were you were saying that we had to wait for the mechanic, we had to wait for the next bus. I'm sorry, but I'm not going to do that. And then the lady was like, okay. And then they said they would call me. I think it would be the Monday when I was supposed to go for training. I actually did go for training, and she was like, no, I should expect a call, and then I can give them the details of when I'm planning to come back home, so that obviously they're not gonna like reimburse me with cash, but the next trip they would edit the details and put in the details when I have to come back home. And that's what happened. Put in the new dates. I didn't have to buy a new bus ticket for coming home because, yeah. And that was sorted. I arrived in Johannesburg on Saturday during the day, clear, broad daylight, safe. My best friend picked me up from Park Station and then she dropped me off at my cousin's place. But yeah, guys, I will always advocate for you standing up for yourself in any situation, because I don't even know what happened to the people on the bus, because I tried going on Twitter and I was just seeing bad reviews of other buses breaking down, and I was like, I was not going to be a statistic, firstly. Secondly, I was not going to be inconvenienced like that, to such a point that even when I came home, I did not unload my bags. I left them in the car, and I was like, I had already fought with that bag to zip it down, so I wasn't going to do that second time around. Oh no. So yeah, got my things. Saturday morning I was up and ready, traveled to Johannesburg, and yeah, then I was there for a whole month for work and also to see my friends and my cousins. And that is the story time of how the bus broke down when I needed to be in Johannesburg in time, because the training was not going to be rescheduled. It was like a whole lot of companies being trained by the service provider, and we already paid for it. And I think the next training is in September. I wasn't going to wait for September, right? So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this little story time. thought it would give you a break with the chaotic vlogs that I've been putting out and just do a sit down video. I hope you enjoyed this video. I will see you in the next one. Bye guys. Don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, and share. Bye.